up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in this video, I'm giving you guys some hope. Okay, I want to give you guys some hope just for the heck of it. Plus, I was talking about this last night in my live stream. Look, I forgot the title of the live stream, the right name. It actually said Lions vs. Raiders reactions, but I changed it, okay? I changed it to the Dodcast, so if you guys want to check that replay out, the video is in the video section, just like every other video. But it's also going to be a thing that we probably do weekly, so make sure you check that out. But in this video, I'm giving you guys some hope, so let's get this thing started. Alright everybody, so in this video we're going to be looking at how the Lions can still make the playoffs, and actually more than make the playoffs, but instead win the division. I know this is crazy, but that's what we're going to do. But also, I'm also going to have another video coming out that's looking over the midseason, okay, where the Lions are sitting right now, halfway through the season. Look at some of the good moments, the bad moments, and the most ugly moments. We're also going to be looking at some stats, stuff like that. That video should be really fun, okay? We're going to throw in some reactions from live streams, so you guys should definitely check that out. If you were excited for that video, let me know in the comments of this video. I'm excited for that video because I don't know why. You don't have to. But if you did, it'd be kind of cool because then I know that you guys are excited to watch it. Okay, let's just get into the video that you guys came for. So you guys are here to listen to me give you some hope, okay? And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't believe it can happen. And I'm not mad at any of you guys. I'm not mad at anybody that does not believe this is going to happen. Because you know what? Let's be honest. The odds are not in our favor right now. And not only are the odds not in our favor, we haven't really proven that, hey, this is actually going to happen or this can happen. I know a lot of people are not believing that it can happen. And that's perfectly fine, okay? Some people actually do believe like I do. And it's crazy. There's people out there like that. But I know a lot of people don't. And it's okay. You guys can still enjoy this video. Let me just go through a few things. You guys can just listen, okay? So basically, the mathematical chance is obviously not out of any kind of situation for the Lions to make the playoffs, right? I mean, they're 8 games in. They can still make the playoffs. But I'm talking about winning the division. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's mathematically probably out. No, it's not. But it's not even that far-fetched, I think, as you may look on the surface, and you'd be like, wow, yeah, there's no way. Literally, everything can go right, we probably still won't make it. No, but I don't think it's that far-fetched, us actually still winning the division. I know it seems crazy right now when you've seen how this defense has played, and when you see how the Packers and the Vikings have played. I know it's crazy to think that, but don't think it's that crazy. Listen to this. Let me give you guys a little disclaimer. How the Lions are playing right now defensively does not mean they will ever do this, okay? There's no way the Lions are going to win, like I'm saying they will in this video, if they don't fix their defense, okay? It doesn't have to be great. It really just has to be ranked somewhere in the 20s, I believe. Because right now they're ranked 31st. Last year they finished 10th. I think if they get somewhere in the 20s where they're just not, they're below average, but they're not like completely awful, then they'll be able to win games because their offense has played so well, being a top 5 offense in this league, that there's no reason that just an okay defense can get by. They definitely can, okay? You get a few more stops, you get a few turnovers, you win a lot of these games, okay? If you guys didn't check out my Dodcast, you definitely should because I really go over a lot of things in that one. But this one I'm more breaking down how we can win the division based on the other teams in our division, okay? So everybody knows about our, schedule coming up. And right now, looking at the standings, I'm not really concerned about the Bears because if the Bears somehow win the division, then it is what it is. They're 3-5. But looking at the teams that we're competing with right now, okay, we have the Green Bay Packers who lost last week, which was huge. It actually ended up being huge. It would have been bigger if we would have won, but we didn't. It's okay. It was a huge loss, though. They lost to the Chargers, so they are 7-2. We have the Vikings at 6-3, and we have us, our Detroit Lions, at 3-4-1. Oh, that don't sound good. No, I don't. That doesn't come off the tongue right. But it's not impossible for the Lions to still win the division, even though that is the case, okay? So first thing we're going to do is look at the Lions schedule. We're going to look at the Vikings schedule. We're going to look at the Packers schedule, and I'm going to talk about what really has to happen and really how the Lions aren't that far back, okay? So let me just say it like this. Right now, I look at it like this. Don't look at the win column. If you guys are ever trying to figure out how a team can get and win a division, do not look at the win column because there's so many factors that really change it. Say someone plays on Monday night. Well, then all of a sudden they can have an extra win, but their loss is what you really have to focus on. In our case, you have to focus on the tie because that's just how we roll. I don't know. But either way, you got to focus on those, okay? You can't focus on the wins because some teams have bye, some teams plays on Thursday nights, and it just kind of moves things around. So don't look at that. Look at the losses first. So when you look at the losses in our division, the Packers have 2 losses, the Vikings have 3 losses, and we have 4 losses, but we also have a tie. So I'm actually going to count that. That's like a half a game. So that's unfortunate that we actually had that tie. A win there would be a huge difference at this point, but it's okay. We can still make up for it. So when you look at the Packers sitting at 7-2, it is scary. It's like, wow, they are definitely going to win this division. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We need help from the Green Bay Packers, okay? Let me just get this thing started. So the Green Bay Packers, looking at the remaining schedule, they have a home game against the Panthers, then they are away against the 49ers, away against the Giants, home against the Redskins, home Bears, away Vikings, away Lions. Now, when I talk about the Packers or the Vikings playing the Lions, think of it as this. the Lions have to win. We're looking at scenarios here. So what is the scenario for the Lions to win the division still? The Lions have to win those games. There's really no way around it. I mean, probably technically they could lose those games and still, if everything went perfect and fell in the line, they could still win the division. But we're not going to look at it like that, because if the Lions can't beat these teams, they can't split it, then there's no reason about talking about the playoffs or winning the division anyways. So looking at the Packers schedule, they sit at 7-2, and that is their remaining schedule. So the first thing you have to say is, okay, in this scenario, calm down, in this scenario, the Lions beat the Packers. Okay, so that you can kind of skip all the other games for now and just think of it like this. If the Lions beat the Packers, if they played them tomorrow, if the Lions beat the Packers in their second matchup, they should have won the first one. If they beat them in their second matchup, they'd be 4-4-1, and the Packers would fall to 7-3. Okay, so now you're really a game and a half behind, and you have all of these other games that the Packers have to lose and you have to win. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that you need to make up 1.5 games, really, for the Packers. Now, the Packers have other games on the schedule that I definitely think they will still lose other than us. Now, that one is the 49ers game. I think the 49ers game, the 49ers should beat the Packers. The 49ers nearly have to beat the Packers for us to win the division. If they can beat the Packers, that will also give the Packers 4 losses on the season and put really us a half a game behind, assuming we can handle our own business. So now we're a half a game behind, and you need them to slip up anywhere. You got to have them slip up anywhere, whether it's against the Panthers, which I think is a maybe, the Giants, who are away, which I think is maybe, right? It could be a maybe. You also have the Redskins, the Bears, and then away Vikings. I think that has the best chance. I think that's the best chance. So I'm going on the road to play the Minnesota Vikings. I really think the Vikings can beat them that time. So you just need to slip up somewhere in there, okay? And then you need them to lose the 49ers and us. Now, looking at the Vikings side of things, the Vikings' remaining schedule looks like this. Now, right now, we are currently a game and a half behind them. But looking at the Vikings' remaining schedule, they go away to face the Cowboys, home Broncos, away Seahawks, home Lions, away Chargers, home Packers, home Bears. Now, they don't have the easiest schedule, but they do have a lot of home games remaining. Looking at the schedule, I would say the away game against the Cowboys is a maybe, okay? I don't think that's a for sure win. I don't think it's a for sure loss. I think that's a maybe, okay? That is actually this week. That would be huge. We need them to lose that game. Next up, they play the Broncos at home. Now, they should be the Broncos. I'm giving them a win for sure there. Then they play away versus Seattle. I don't think they're going to beat Seattle on the road. I don't see it happening. I have Seattle straight up winning that game. And if that is the case, if they lose a game before they play us, then that means they're only a half a game ahead, assuming, again, we take care of our own business. We have to assume that, because if we can't assume that this team takes care of their own business, there's literally no point in talking about a scenario. It's a scenario, okay? Calm down. It's not exactly what's going to happen. This isn't like 100% realistic, like this is 100% going to work out. It's a scenario, okay? We're hoping this works out. So if they lose to Seattle, which I think they will then play us. They will then play us at their home field, okay, with a half-game lead, and they'd really be fighting for whoever is in second, or maybe even in first in that case if the Packers just completely fell off. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. Either way, they'd be playing us for really a division spot at that time. And if we can find a way to put that win up, we will actually have a half-game lead that quickly. In a few weeks, we could have a half-game lead over the Minnesota Vikings and also have the split. Not only that, then they play away the Chargers, which I think is a maybe. Ever seen how Chargers played against the Packers? That's a maybe. Then they have the Packers, which this could definitely be a loss, but I'm rooting so hard. This is probably going to be one where we have to root for the Minnesota Vikings, and then they're home against the Bears, which I think they'll beat the Bears. I don't think the Bears will even be competing at that point. Okay, so looking at that, that's great. Now we have to look at our schedule. We play at Chicago next, and like I said, we have to take care of our business. If we can't win our games, this doesn't matter at all. So then we're away against the Bears. Got to beat the Bears. I don't think the Bears are going to be that bad. It's the Cowboys that I'm more worried about. The Cowboys beat the Giants. They're not a great team, right? They're not scary. The problem is we haven't been able to stop the run, and that's where problems lie. So if we can show at least a little bit of fight against the Bears, then that might convince me that, hey, we can win this game. So I actually have that as a maybe. But other than that, I think the Lions should take care of business throughout, really. I mean, they should beat the Vikings. They should beat the Redskins. They should beat the Bears both times. Then you're away against the Vikings, which, again, is a must-win when you're winning the division. It's just a fact. You can't afford to lose both games against one team in the division. Then you're home against Buccaneers, which should be, again, a win. Then you're away against Broncos, which should be a win, unless you're the Browns. And then you're home against the Packers, which, again, is a must-win. So I know it's crazy. And you're like, oh, well, that's not going to happen, man. You know I ain't winning out. Okay, we may not. Do we have to win out? No. But if we don't win out, the odds are really going to be against us unless the Packers completely fall off, okay? That would mean we could maybe afford one loss to like the Cowboys or something, but we really can't. We have to win our 2 divisional games, and if we can take care of the Packers and the Vikings, we are right back in the race. I mean, we are literally right back in the race. I don't see the Vikings beating Seattle. And even if they do beat Seattle, then they have to beat the Cowboys. They also have to beat the Chargers. And they also have to beat the Bears, and the Packers, right? So I don't necessarily know if they'll do that. But the Packers side of things is where we need some help. We need the Packers. We got to beat the Packers, obviously. Then we also need them to lose to the 49ers and then just some slip up. Some slip up. Or maybe even a tie. If they tie someone, then who knows? Then we get into some weird, wacky scenarios. But the fact is this. The Lions are not out of the divisional race. It's just not super likely. That is how it can happen. The Lions kind of need to run the table. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they can't. I hope they can. We are also, like I said, going to be doing a midseason recap. So if you guys are excited for that, let me know in the comments below. Again, don't take this so seriously and get mad. Calm down. Okay, look, I'm not saying it will happen. It's a scenario. We are all hoping for it to happen, but it may not. So there you go. That is how the Lions can still win the division. If you guys have any questions, let me hear them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.